way, Jose.
Red Hot Gotsy, come subscribe, like, come subscribe, like, come subscribe, like, come subscribe. Red Hot Gotsy R2. Today I am making another video after 10 months. I know it's been a long time, but I've been just waiting to make this video today, and this is going to be a special one. Honestly, I'm going to be talking about the Five Nights at Freddy's, the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, and honestly, this whole franchise in general is like a special one. I really was waiting to make this video. I was either going to make a video in December, November, or this month, October. And honestly, I really am glad that I took the time to just watch all these movies this month and just make this video, this very, very special video for you guys. Because honestly, looking back at this franchise, I just love the creativity and just how much effort put into each and every film, and how the story just clumps together, and how everything connects. There's no plot armor for the most part, and honestly, just every single character, well, most of the characters, they mean something to the story. They matter to some degree, and honestly, they make you care about most of the characters, and they really flesh them out. You get to know their background, what happens when it comes to their sleeping, and how they get punished by Freddy and stuff like that, or if they survive, you get to see some of the survivors. And honestly, it really surprises you with who's actually going to survive. You don't know. Again, like I said, there's no plot armor in this entire franchise. It's really good, honestly. It really keeps you on your toes, and I just love how they flesh out Freddy as a character in general. And it's just I really want to get into this. It's been 40 years. It's the 40th anniversary of this entire franchise, and I just wanted to talk about it for a little bit. So let's just get into all the things that make this franchise so special. Now, what I really like about this entire franchise is just how fluent the entire pacing is throughout all the films. And honestly, these films aren't really long. They're an hour and 30 minutes each, about, and the longest one is about 2 hours, but it's the Wes Craven's version, the New Nightmare, and that one is more of a breaking the fourth wall kind of, bringing Heather back, the original actress for Nancy Thompson, in your first film in '84. So it's it's a little bit different, but overall, when it comes to just all the other regular films, the first 6, they really just keep the pacing very fluent. Every character gets their shine to some degree. Well, most of them at the very least. The ones that matter. For example, Nancy, she is the main character in the first one, and she's very prominent, and she basically is our eyes into the story, basically. She's the main character, and we get to see through her eyes and see what's going on, why these people are dying, what she has to do with it, how she's involved, and if she's going to survive or not. We get to, see that sort of mystery unfold, and we get to see more about Freddy as a whole in his backstory, where he comes from. And honestly, I really like seeing that, because with a lot of these franchises, they don't really, if they do explain the serial killer, or the horror monster's backstory, if it's a humanoid figure, it's something very rushed, something that's very dramatic or over the top, and it doesn't really mean anything at the end of the day. It's just something that they just sort of use as a placeholder for you to understand why they're here, but you don't really care at the end of the day, because it has no ties to humanity at the end of the day. But I feel with this story, the entire story is rooted in humanity versus darkness and evil, because Freddy is literally pure evil. Even when he was a human, he was pure evil, at the end of the day. And when you just look at, what the townspeople did, the parents, it really just shows you the idea behind this whole theme is good versus evil at the end of the day, or angels versus devils in a certain sense. That's kind of dramatic, but you get my point. I really just like how a lot of these characters in general, they just feel human. And when you see all these characters die, it's kind of it's kind of heartbreaking too, because it's you get to stay the whole film with them and see their journey and see them grow and see them defeat Freddy. But in the end, Freddy is so powerful that plot armor does not exist in any of these films, and that's what I really love about them. These characters die because they're not going to just live just for the sake of it, just because they're a popular character. And the only way or reason, former reason that they even brought back one of the main characters was, again, Heather's character, the actress who played Nancy for Wes Craven's New Nightmare. But at the end of the day, no other character really like was brung back for any particular reason. Like all of them either survived when they defeated Freddy and then died, or they just defeated Freddy like in the sixth one. And honestly, I would say that's one of the weaker ones in general, but even that one, it fleshes out his character a little bit more. You get to see that he actually has a daughter and stuff like that. And stuff like that I just like, because you get to see more about the background of the killer, and they actually feel like a person. They feel like a character rather than, oh, they're just this thing, this abomination here to kill people in general. And I just really love how they expand upon that. What I really like about Freddy's defeats is, every single defeat really feels like it's earned, and I feel like every single one of them tie back to who Freddy is and, how he was created in general, and how his powers work. Like, for example, in the first film, Nancy basically stopped giving a crap about Freddy, and he just dissipated because she stopped fearing him after, he killed her mother. And you get to just see all the consequences of all these people dying in general, and just how some people just don't want to believe it, like the police and, some of the family members of these people, the victims. And more victims stack up because people do not want to believe it. But once they start believing it, they fear. And Nancy basically overcame that, and that's how she defeated him. What I also like is in the second movie how Lisa was actually able to stop Jesse when he became Freddy, through the power of love, essentially, like, and actually caring about him and, feeling, and, she basically stopped, fearing Freddy at that moment. And that's when I think she burned him alive, and then he was defeated in that film because, again, the characters stopped fearing him. In the third film, they actually, and that was probably my favorite film, the entire franchise. I'm just going to say that right now because I think it was the best written. I gave it like a 9 out of 10. And that's when they were basically like a psych ward or like a psychiatric like hospital or whatever. And then they basically, try to use the cross and bury his remains and stuff like that. And that, again, is part of his backstory because he was burned alive by the parents. So it's just like stuff like that I just really love. And it's just, you don't get stuff like that in like modern horror flicks in general, because it's like, I feel like they don't really care enough to not only flesh out the characters, like I said, but to do anything interesting with them. And I feel like with this whole franchise, like when it even comes to the effects are very good. They're A1. Like they really push the envelope essentially, and it's like it really helps you get an idea for like what each character's fears are, and the way they present that on the screen is just magnificent. And honestly, I just like how creative they get with each kill in general, or if the person even survives, just they get put through hell in order to survive, and you really feel like it's earned. I also just love how they used a lot of props, aesthetics, and just different makeup. Like the makeup was very good for Freddy, and honestly, it's one of the best examples of makeup that I've ever seen in a film, like ever. It looks very realistic. It looks very, just like disgusting looking. Like Freddy's one of the best designs for like a monster, like a serial killer character, in fiction. I also like the aliens design, like Predators. I like Jason's, big ass dude. It's just like with a machete. It's just like all these designs that they feel very like unique, and it's just like it really resembles like the character that you're trying to portray. Like Freddy's just he's kind of an asshole, honestly. Like he roasts a lot of the characters. He trolls them. Like he really likes messing with that person, the individual person that he's trying to kill, and really get into their head. Because again, they're in a nightmare, and they had to be tortured first. Because that's what he wants to do. He likes to have fun first, and sometimes he kind of. I like that it actually screws him over. When he gets defeated in each film, but sometimes it works to his benefit. Like he actually gets a rise out of them, and that's how they end up getting killed. Now, when it comes to every main character in each film, I would say my favorites are Nancy for the first film. Obviously, I think she was the best. She was the main character, and we get to see through her eyes and just her struggles and just seeing everyone die around her. And it's obviously the first one, so it's a classic. It's obvious. The second film, I'd probably say it's Lisa or Jesse. I'd probably say Lisa just because she was the focal point to. Was it focal point? Whatever, right? And she really just push the limit of like trying to help Jesse as much as she can, and she was basically the heart and soul of that film because she was the reason that he was Freddy was defeated in the end. For the third film, honestly, I'll probably say just Nancy, honestly, again, because Nancy, again, is my favorite character of the whole franchise. And she's the GOAT. Like, she's the best, honestly. Like, she did the most in general when it comes to a one individual, like teen or whatever. Now, obviously, in the third film, she's much older. Her mother died, years ago, and she's in the psych ward trying to help people. She works there. And she gets fired, and then she's still trying to help the kids afterwards because she genuinely does care about them, and she ends up sacrificing herself so that she can stop Freddy. So it's just like, I think overall she has the best arc in the whole franchise, and I just love how they brought her back for New Nightmare because I just really like how the actress portrays this character, and even when she's like a different Nancy or whatever, she's just Heather. I like that character, honestly. My second favorite would probably be, I guess, Kristen, because I do like that they had her as like the secondary, like the new face of the film, or as the of the third film at least. And then for the fourth film, obviously Kristen dies in this, which is sad. Yeah, like even if the character defeats Freddy in one film, they end up dying in the next, which just shows, like, again, no plumber. They're not going to just survive for the sake of it. Freddy is very overpowered, and they really show that in all these films, and I like that in general. Like, he's strong. I would probably say that Freddy's my favorite character in this one, but when it comes to the victims, I'd probably say I like Dan too, and I'd probably say Alice. I'll probably say Alice, I guess. She's probably the best character there. I also like Joey to some extent. I like Philip too. Philip, he just died very early on. Actually, no, I'll probably say my favorite is Kincaid, because Kincaid is just funny, honestly. Kincaid is, oh my god. If it wasn't for Nancy, I'll probably say Kincaid was my favorite of 3 and 4, honestly. Like, he's amazing. And then for the fifth one, I'll probably just say Freddy again, just because Alice wasn't really all that to me, and she ended up dying anyway. It's just kind of, it's whatever. And then for the sixth one, the last one, the very, very last one, I'll probably say Freddy again, because I don't really care about Maggie. That's his daughter in the film and stuff like that. But it's just like, I feel like the sixth one is like really bad overall. I give it like a 2 out of 10. And I might actually make a video later on, just talking about every individual film a little bit more in depth, and just talking about why I gave them every individual rating. But I am going to make a tier list video after this, actually. So I probably won't need to do that, because that will basically just cover my whole thoughts about each film. But overall, just every single character, they had their purpose. Some of them died, but a lot of them were brave too. They went into the dreams, and they were trying to help people and help themselves so that they can, stop Freddy the best way they could. And each individual person did their part. So overall, I love most of the characters, but Nancy definitely is at the top. Now, when it comes to what other horror movies can learn from this franchise, I would say overall just make characters that we actually care about, that we can root for, and characters that have some depth to them, because I feel like with these characters, they felt real, they felt like actual, like, people that I could somewhat care about. Not all of them I did, and I'll be honest with you, but for the main characters, I genuinely did. Like Kincaid, Nancy, Lisa, Jesse, I genuinely care about those characters, and I wanted them to succeed. Not all of them did. In fact, most of them didn't. But just in general, I liked them. I liked them on screen. Even when they lost, I like seeing it too. And obviously, Freddy's one of the best written characters in fiction. No one can tell me otherwise. And yeah. Overall, I think when it comes to the effects as well, I think the effects don't need to be super dramatic, and you don't need to use a bunch of CGI, because CGI is overused in modern media, and we don't need to do that. We really don't. Like, with this franchise, it was limited in terms of what it can do because of the timing, or the time. Again, 84 versus like the 2010 remake, which is horrible. I just must say that, and that's why I'm not even including that into the tier list or talking about it in this video. I just don't care. I saw it a long time ago. No. And that's actually an example of something that can learn from the original franchise. Is just, you know, to make the characters actually interesting. Don't just remake it like I feel like a lot of people didn't like, for example, the Karate Kid remake. Is because you're basically just rehashing the same plot points, the same beats that the original did, just in a less interesting way. It's like, don't do that. That's ridiculous. I don't understand when they do that. But I don't mean to rant too much. Basically, just do things that are very unique, but also, you know, push the limit a little bit. You know, add something that just makes you kind of remember the film. Because I feel like with a lot of these films these days, we don't remember them because we don't care what happens. They're just like, the characters are fodder just for us to be entertained and just see them get slaughtered. The main antagonist or villain or, you know, serial killer character is just like, they're basically just there to just be evil, look scary, big and scary, and just be overpowered. And at the end of the day, when they get defeated, even a lot of the times it doesn't make sense, or it's just, they're kind of just weak, and they do stupid crap that allows the characters to live throughout the whole film, or for most of it, if not the whole film. And it's just like, it's dumb. Every single movie that we see these days is just really stupid. And I feel like even with the Freddy vs. Jason, that was probably the stupidest one of the original Robert Englund movies. But in general, like, at least he was entertaining. His acting is phenomenal, and he's one of the better actors of these, like, horror films. But yeah, it's just like, I feel like in general, you need to be more realistic about, you know, your approach to each of the characters, but also just, I don't know, do something new, do something interesting, different, but not like too different to where like it's kind of just ridiculous and over the top. And yeah, that's basically all I have to say about this video. Like, comment, subscribe, like, let me know what you think. I know it's been a while, and it's been a cool minute. But I'm gonna make a tier list right after this, if y'all want to watch that. And honestly, yeah, I'll just see you guys later. I'm gonna make some like a lot of Cobra Kai videos in the next like 2 weeks or so just stay tuned for that. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Red Hot Gotsy, come subscribe, like, come subscribe, like, come subscribe, like, come subscribe.